Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna to everyone, and Hare Krishna to you also, Ramesh. Very happy to see you again today. I hope Vijaya also is doing well. So we are continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, The Age of Deterioration, continuing with chapter number 11, Summary Description of the Mahapurusha, verse number 24. Dvijarishabhasaisha Brahma Yoni Swayam Drek Swamahima Paripurnamayaya Cha Swayaitat Srijati Harati Patityakhayana Vraksho Vivitra Iva Niruktastat Pare Atmalabhyaha. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. O best of the Brahmanas, he alone is the self-luminous, original source of the Vedas, perfect and complete in his own glory. By his material energy, he creates, destroys, and maintains this entire universe. Because he is the performer of various material functions, he is sometimes described as materially divided, yet he always remains transcendently situated in pure knowledge. Those who are dedicated to him in devotion can realize him to be their true soul. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur recommends that we become humble by practicing the following meditation. The earth, which is always visible to me, is the expansion of the lotus feet of my Lord, who is always to be meditated upon. All moving and non-moving living beings have taken shelter of the earth and are thus sheltered at the lotus feet of my Lord. For this reason, I should respect every living being and not envy anyone. In fact, all living entities constitute the Kaustubha gem on my Lord's chest. Therefore, I should never envy or deride any living entity. By practicing this meditation, one can achieve success in life. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are going to do from this verse 24 till the end of the chapter. And we can see Sukta Goswami, he's continuing. He is giving knowledge about Supreme Lord's supremacy, you see. And to understand that, one needs a lot of dedication. Because unless we are dedicated on this path of Krishna consciousness, if you're not serious and sincere, if we take bhakti like a casual thing, oh, I can do bhakti on the side, I don't need to do take any special efforts, then self-realization will be very, very difficult. Yes, it'll take a long time, but we don't know how much time we have, right? We don't know when we will be taking our last breath. We have no idea. So this particular verse is giving so many points, important points. And in the purport, it's talking about humility. How do we become humble? Humility is not just folding hands and bowing the head down and speaking softly, No, that is not humility, right? So how do we become humble? So in the purport, there's talk about meditation. And meditation is listed here in the purport so nicely, where it says we need to respect every living entity. Every means every. It doesn't matter whether they are human beings, animals, aquatics, bugs. It doesn't matter. We need to respect every living entity. And how can we respect every living entity? Only when we do not envy any living entity. We may think, oh, I'm not envious. No, I don't think I'm envious. But it can be in a very subtle form, which we don't even recognize. It's like, if he tells someone that, oh, this is a fault in you, the instant reaction is, no, 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 you are mistaken. That's not in me. That is the defense mechanism where we do not accept that. So here it's mentioned that one should not be envious of anyone, right? And how can we practically see whether we are envious or not? A very simple example is that where it's given in the purport also, that we should not deride anyone. If you're finding faults in someone, that means we are envious. If we are not envious, then we will not see any faults, right? Of course, those who are in authoritative position, it may be necessary for them to point out, if they find some, faults or discrepancies under, in those who are working under them. But that also has to be done with love, with affection, and not just like, you kind of, no, no. So it's very important we do not deride any living entity. Then success will be guaranteed. And that is a process given to us by Srila Prabhupada. A simple process of, chanting attentively, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, preaching, giving this knowledge to others, eating only prasadam. So this nice process is given to us. It's actually not just nice, it's a complete process that Srila Prabhupada has given to us, where if we follow this sincerely and with dedication, as it's talking about dedication, if we have that dedication, Srila Prabhupada says, make this your last life. That is our business. Our business is to stop the cycle of birth and death and do not come back into this material world again. Why not? Because this is not our home. Fish is out of the water. Fish needs to go back in the water. Similarly, we need to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. That is our original home. So here in this verse, a method is being explained to us by which we can become successful in Krishna consciousness. Let's go to the next verse, number 25. O Krishna, O friend of Arjun, O chief among the descendants of Vrishni, you are the destroyer of those political parties that are disturbing elements on this earth. Your prowess never deteriorates. You are the proprietor of the transcendental abode, and your most sacred glories, which are sung by Vrindavan's cowherd men and women and their servants, bestow all auspiciousness just by being heard. O Lord, please protect your devotees. So, 2 points which are there in Bhagavad Gita also, talking about hearing, right? Hearing is very, very important. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that when we chant and when we hear the sound vibrations, they go into our ears, go straight into the heart, and start the purificatory process. Because our heart is full of gunk. It has all of anarthas. Maybe in us, each individuals, the level of anarthas may be different. Maybe, not maybe, it's possible that in my heart there is lust, anger, pride, greed, envy, everything. But the quantity, right, the level may be different, but it is there. The fact, Prabhupada says, the fact that we are in this material world means we need purification, you see. So hearing, importance is given to hearing, because he says just by being heard. What happens? It bestows all auspiciousness. That's why Prahlad Maharaj, he didn't say Shravan, he didn't say Kirtanam Shravanam Smaranam. No, he said Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So first comes the hearing part. But just hearing is not going to really make us successful in spiritual life, because hearing is just gyan, knowledge. Yeah, we heard. Oh, I heard about the stocks. I heard about COVID-19. I heard about Krishna. It's just the same, right? Just hearing. No. Hearing means listening, paying attention. When we pay attention, then we will have the desire to put it into practice. So when Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrittaha. When he says always chanting my glories. So if we are not focusing on that knowledge, it will just remain knowledge, just gyan. We need to convert it to Vijnana. We need to follow it in such a way that there is some purification that becomes Vijnana. And that becomes easy in association of devotees. Why do you think we meet every Saturday at 8 a.m.? Is it because we have nothing else to do? No, we have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to take care. But we are investing our 1 hour of time at least on Saturday mornings, 1 hour, so that in association we can somehow or the other progress spiritually, right? So in association we get to learn, but it's important to understand it's not possible to learn everything, not possible at all to get all the knowledge, right? Why? Because I was listening to a lecture recently, I don't remember from where, and he was saying every moment Krishna's transcendental qualities are increasing. So, how is it possible for us, these tiny little living entities living in this whole creation, be able to understand everything, to have knowledge of everything? No, it's not possible. You know, it's like trying to explain that I may have knowledge in alphabets A, B, C, D. One of you may have F, G, H. Then someone else may have IJK, right? But it's not possible. This is just a very crude example, but to understand the point that it is not possible to have all knowledge. That is why hearing is important. When we hear, like when we hear Srila Prabhupada every day, hear one lecture of Guru Maharaj, we learn everything, every time something new. Now, even for instance, this WhatsApp group of Guru Maharaj, every day we learn something new because devotees are posting the answers of Guru Maharaj on that WhatsApp group. So, like for instance, today's was so beautiful. 3 words explained so nicely by Guru Maharaj. It's like, oh, I never heard this before, right? So every day is a new day for us to learn, and it's not possible to know it all. But Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita, Tadami Buddhi Yogam. He says, I will give the intelligence if I see someone following the process sincerely. He will give the intelligence. Only then we will be able to at least understand something about Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada says, just if we chant, and follow the 4 regulative principles seriously, we can go back to Godhead. You see? Let's go to the next verse. Anyone who rises early in the morning, oh Krishna, early in the morning again. The mind says, hello, it is a weekend. You know, someone may say, why do you have a class at 8 in the morning? It's so early. It's Saturday. Time to sleep in, time to wake up at noon. It's a weekend. We have worked so hard during the week. Of course, now we are at home, you know, we're working from home, but still, what does it say? Anyone who rises early in the morning and with a purified mind fixed upon the Mahapurusha quietly chants this description of his characteristics will realize him as the supreme absolute truth residing within the heart. You see? That is the process. First thing is rising early in the morning, Brahma Muhurta. That's called the Brahma Muhurta time. It's very, very auspicious for spiritual activities. That's why Srila Prabhupada started, when he started ISKCON, he started with Mangal Arati at 4:30 in the morning, right? Why 4:30 in the morning? Because that is the Brahma Muhurta. That is the time when the mind is clear. That is the time when mind is calm and composed. That is a good time to fix our mind in attentive chanting, right? So when Krishna sees our efforts and he says, oh, look at that devotee. That devotee rises at 4 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning. I know some of you may get a heart attack, not to worry. You can adjust based on your medical condition. But important to Krishna himself, if you read Krishna book, he says, I wake up 2 hours before sunrise. He himself wakes up. Just imagine how much work he has. He's the Lord of all living entities. He has to take care of so many desires, and our desires just keep increasing. Our shopping list keeps increasing, and Krishna has so much to do, but Prabhupada says he has nothing to do. He's just playing on his flute with a smile on his face. But he himself wakes up so early in the morning and chants. Chants what? His own holy name. So he's setting an example for us so that we can also follow. So attentive chanting is the key. And by Krishna's mercy, when he sees our serious endeavor, then within the heart, like it talks here about, residing within the heart. Krishna is within the heart. By his mercy, one will be able to realize him in the heart. You see, now at this point, talking about living in the heart and realizing within the heart, it's important to do self-evaluation. Very, very important. Self-evaluation, sometimes the mind may trick us. You are a wonderful devotee, not to worry. Pakka devotee, everything is fine. Just continue as you are. No, the mind can trick us. So we have to be very careful in our self-evaluation. Where am I? Where was I 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 1 year ago? Where was I in Krishna consciousness? And where am I now? Have I made any progress? If I have not, then we need to seriously self-evaluate. If that becomes difficult, take help of a senior devotee and do some self-evaluation. Prabhupada was saying in one of the lectures that when we associate with devotees, self-evaluation becomes easy. And a true devotee is a true friend if that devotee is able to, of course, if that devotee has a little bit of authority, is able to, evaluate the other devotees and let them know where they are lacking and what they need to do. So association helps a lot. And Prabhupada said in one of his lectures that if we think that we can progress spiritually without associating with devotees, he said that's nothing but hallucination. What a strong word. Association is very, very, very important. Next verse, number 27 and 28. Sri Shaunaka said, please describe to us who have great faith in your words the different sets of 7 personal features and associates the sun god exhibits during each month, who serve, along with their names and activities. The associates of the sun god who serve their Lord are personal expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari in his feature as the presiding deity of the sun. So we see here, Shaunaka Rishi is now asking more questions, right? Prabhupada says asking questions is a sign of intelligence, because unless we inquire, we will not know. And then if we will not know, we will not put it into practice. So here we see Shaunaka Rishi, he wants to know more about the sun and the expansions, and Krishna as Krishna's expansions as the sun, right? And also the personalities that are related with the sun and that are of 7 categories. So we already learned about the Mahapurusha, and then we also got knowledge about the sun god and the different expansions. there is expansion every month, that we will learn more about it. But here is talking about, so each month has a different sun god with a different name, and along with 6 associates that preside. See, 6. And so what are those associates? Great sage, Yaksha, Gandharva, Apsara, Rakshasa, and Naga. These are the ones. And let's read from verse number 29 onwards. It's very technical, so I'm going to read till from 29 to 44. It's not necessary to memorize all these names, but it's important to understand how Krishna expands himself as different sun gods. Sutta Goswami said, the sun travels among all the planets and thus regulates their movements. It has been created by Lord Vishnu, the supreme soul of all embodied beings, through his beginningless material energy. The sun god, being non-different from Lord Hari, is the one soul of all the worlds and their original creator. He is the source of all the ritualistic activities prescribed in the Vedas and has been given many names by the Vedic sages. Being the source of the material energy, the personality of Godhead Lord Hari in his expansion as the sun god is described in 9 aspects, O Shaunaka: the time, the place, the endeavor, the performer, the instrument, the specific ritual, the scripture, the paraphernalia of worship, and the result to be achieved. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, manifesting his potency of time as the sun god, travels about in each of the 12 months, beginning with Madhu, not Madhu which is on Zoom, but beginning with Madhu, to regulate planetary motion within the universe. Traveling with the sun god in each of the 12 months is a different set of 6 associates. My dear sage, Dhata as the sun god, Kritasthali as the Apsara, Heti as the Rakshasa, Vasuki as the Nag, Rathakrit as the Yaksha, Pulasya as the sage, and Tumburu as the Gandharva rule the month of Madhu. Aryama as the sun god, Pulaha as the sage, Athauja as the Yaksha, Praheti as the Rakshasa, Punjikasthali as the Apsara, Narada as the Gandharva, and Kachanira as the Naga rule the month of Madhav. Mitra as the sun god, Atri as the sage, Paurashya as the Rakshasa, Takshaka as the Naga, Menaka as the Apsara, Haha as the Gandharva, and Rathasvana as the Raksha rule the month of Shukra. Just see the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. Even the names of sun gods and associates are so specific. So Srimad Bhagavatam gives us knowledge which we cannot get anywhere else. Vasishtha as the sage, Varuna as the sun god, Rambha as Apsara, Sahajanya as a Rakshasa, Huhu as a Gandharva, Shukra as a Naga, and Chitrasvana as a Yaksha rule the month of Shuchi. Indra as the sun god, Vivavasu as the Gandharva, Shrota as the Yaksha, Elapatra as a Naga, Angira as the sage, Brahmalocha as the Apsara, and Varya as the Rakshasa rule the month of Nabhas. Vivaswan as the sun god, Ugrasena as the Gandharva, Vyagraha as the Rakshasa, Asarana as the Yaksha, Bhrigu as the sage, Anumalocha as the Apsara, and Shankapala as the Naga rule the month of Nabhasya. Pusha as the sun god, Dhananjaya as the Naga, Vata as the Rakshasa, Shusena as Sushena as the Gandharva, Suruchi as the Yaksha, Bhritachi as the Apsara, and Gautama as the sage ruled the month of Tapas. Ritu as the Yaksha, Vracha as the Rakshasa, Bhardwaj as the sage, Parjanya as the Sangha, Senajit as the Apsara, Vishwa as the Gandharva, and Airavat as the Naga ruled the month known as Tapasya. Amshu as the sun god, Kashyapa as the sage, Taraksha as the Yaksha, Ritasena as the Gandharva, Urvashi as the Apsara, Vidyuchatru as the Rakshasa, and Mahashankh as the Naga ruled the month of Sahas. Bhaga as the sun god, Spurja as the Rakshasa, Arishthanemi as the Gandharva, Urna as the Yaksha, Ayur as the sage, Karputak as the Naga, and Purvachiti as the Apsara ruled the month of Pushya. Tvastha as the sun god, Jamadagni as the son of Richika, as the sage, Kambalashva as the Naga, Tilotama as the Apsara, Brahmapeta as the Rakshasa, Shatajit as the Yaksha, and Dhritarashtra as the Gandharva maintain the month of Isha. Vishnu as the sun god, Ashvatara as the Naga, Rambha as the Apsara, Suryavachara as the Gandharva, Satyajit as the Raksha, Vishwamitra as the sage, and Makhapeta as the Rakshasa rule the month of Purja. You see, and in the purport, all these names are already listed in Kurma Purana. So it's not just random knowledge, it's authentic, it's transcendental knowledge, which is also mentioned in Kurma Purana. So we can see that all these sun gods and all the associates are already listed in Kurma Purana. So Puranas also give us a lot of knowledge. So here, let's go to verse number 45. All these personalities are the opulent expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu in the form of the Sun God. These deities take away all the sinful reactions of those who remember them each day at dawn and sunset. See? We get the benefit just by even remembering all these. See? So what is important over here to understand? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and He is the one who expands. Not that Krishna is an incarnation or expansion of Vishnu. No, it's the other way around. So here we see, like Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante. So if one understands that everything comes from Krishna, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And see how merciful He is. He is expanding Himself in each and every month as a sun god. You see? So He is, of course, it's mentioned here that just by remembering, at dawn, all sinful reactions are wiped out, right? He takes away. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 verse 66, right? What? No. What is that verse? Number 66. Does anyone remember?
Sarva dharman parityajya.
Yes. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja. Aham tuam sarva papebhyo. I will remove all your sinful reactions. Why? Because we are making an effort, we are endeavoring to surrender to the Supreme Lord. And to be able to do that, we should remember the golden rule, which is Smartavya Satatam Vishnu, Vismartavya na Jatuchit. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. That is the golden rule. Number 46. Thus, throughout the 12 months, the Lord of the Sun travels in all directions with his 6 types of associates, disseminating among the inhabitants of this universe purity of consciousness for both this life and the next. How merciful He is, right? He's coming. He is coming as different expansion of the Sun God in each and every month. You see? So Prabhupada explains that sometimes Krishna comes personally and sometimes he sends his representatives to purify us. So what is our job? When Krishna is taking so much trouble, Krishna is taking so much trouble to give us this nice body with, with and also a process how to use this body to cross over this material ocean, this material world, ocean of this nescience, ocean of this material world. How we can use this body as a boat and cross this material miserable world. You see, so it's important that we become more serious. Yes, I'm sure you all are serious, but we need to increase the seriousness quotient. We need to become more serious. Every day we should take as a new opportunity, one more day to be Krishna conscious. By the mercy of the Lord, we have got one more day. Not that we, become lethargic and think, oh, I have a long life, I'm going to live so many X number of more years, I can do bhakti afterwards. I can become serious afterwards. No, the time is now. Like, there is a saying in Hindi, Kal kare so aaj kare so ab kar. Whatever you're planning to do tomorrow, do it today. No, do it now. Start from now. Verse number 47. While the sages glorify the sun god with the hymns of the Sam, Rig, and Yajurvedas, which reveal his identity, the Gandharvas also sing his praises, and the Apsaras dance before his chariot. The Nagas arrange the chariot ropes, and the Yakshasas harness the horses to the chariot, while the powerful Rakshasas push from behind. Facing the chariot, the 60,000 Brahmana sages, known as Valakyas, travel in front and offer prayers to the Almighty Sun God with Vedic mantras. For the protection of all the worlds, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who is unborn and without beginning or end, thus expands himself during each day of Brahma into these specific categories of his personal representations. You see? So we can see here, of course, this is how the chapter ends, but we can see here the mercy of the Supreme Lord, that he is giving us opportunities in different ways. He's given us the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He's given us this powerful mantra so we can meditate. Mantra meditation recommended for Kali Yuga. Meditate means it's not in your mind, but we chant loud enough so we can hear those sound vibrations. So he has given us the Maha Mantra. He's given us the spiritual master. He's given us the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's given us powerful bona fide acharyas. He's given us Srila Prabhupada. He's given us Guru Maharaj. So he's given us a body which is conducive to Krishna consciousness. We cannot expect animals to be Krishna conscious because they don't have that philosophical intelligence, but we do have. So we should try and utilize, not try, we must try to utilize this body, use our senses, purify our mind, purify our intelligence, so that we become qualified, to go back to Krishna Loka when we give up this body. So the summary of this chapter is, giving us knowledge about the Mahapurushas, and of course the expansions of Krishna in the form of sun for each month. And we also heard about the limbs, weapons, and garments of Krishna. We heard about the process of practical service, so that one can attain immortality. And of course, Krishna, appearing, manifesting as the sun god in each month. So 12 different months, right? And many features of the sun god we heard, that sustains the world. And Krishna, main important point is that Krishna, he manifests his potency of time as the sun and travels through all the 12 months with his 6 associates. So this is a summary of this chapter. I'm going to stop here if anyone has any questions.
I have a question, Mataji.
Yes.
In text 26, it says that his quietly, we have to quietly chant this description of his characteristics. We'll realize him as the supreme personality, supreme absolute truth residing within the heart. So what is this character